I thought you were pretty big just about everywhere. Because in L.A., when your first album came out, there was a lot of talk about that, too.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of talk, you know, but, I mean, it gets wrote about a lot, and there's, you know, a lot of, like you said, a lot of talk about it, you know? But there's no, like, I mean, it's like, that's what it is. It's like, it's one of those albums that gets reviewed all the time, and, you know, and an act that gets all, you know, it gets wrote about a whole lot and talked about, but nobody buys the records, you know? And see, all people have to do is see the band, you know? Once people see the band, like we've been out, and man, right out the next day, and they buy both albums, you know? Because it's a great bunch of guys, and those guys, you know, they put out every night, you know, all the time, you know?
I get the feeling of it's more of a band. Than Bruce Springsteen.
That just happened to be a situation that I fell into, you know? I mean, I've always had a band, man, my whole life, you know? I hadn't played myself a few months, write a batch of songs, and walk into Columbia by myself, you know? With an acoustic guitar. And there was a lot of, you know, false impressions, you know, that stuck. So, I put my band back together as soon as I had a little money, you know, the ability to do it, and I did. And, it was something. You know, it is a band. I work. I don't believe, man, guys standing on me, scrubbing, you know, like clunk, you know, playing a little riff. That ain't, you know. I mean, if I had guys behind me, I want each guy to be happy, you know.
Exactly.
And it makes the whole difference, you know. Like, get them out, man. You know, make them out and let them out there. I got guys that play great. Let them play, man. Let them play.
The feeling I get is because I feel that you're writing songs around the band in their context.
I'll tell you what, the first album, I didn't do that. The second album, I did do that.
That's right.
You know?
It was much more evident than the second one.
I said, and the main reason I did it so much was because the first album came out, and like I said, a lot of wrong impressions were taken about just who I was, you know?
Right.
People didn't know who or what, the record company didn't know what I was, my own manager and producer didn't know who I was, you know? So it was a case of where I said, well, man, I gotta straighten this out, man. You know, I gotta get this straight. I gotta make people see. So I rode the band heavy on the second album. You know, I wrote songs that I arranged. You know, and I made sure there was a lot of music going on. You know, a lot of music.
Yes.
A lot of textural things and a lot of colors. You know, and different kinds.
Segues too.
Yeah, you know, all everything. You know, and because I wanted, then I figured it would. You know, the scale was like that, you know, I figured I'd try to get it somehow so people get a more clear picture of who and how you are, you know, of who I am and where I'm from, you know. And it was a scene, I was almost put in a situation where you got to fight for your own identity, you know, a lot of times. And that was the main reason I did that, you know, I did that. Like, it was a totally different frame of mind. Like, this next album will probably be more of a balance between the two.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, it'll probably be more of a balance between the two. Like, the music will still be there, but the lyrics will be, you know, it'll be more of a balance.
Yeah, I think the first album emphasized more the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
By showing, you know, the words on the covers, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there were no words.
Second album, I said, man, forget them lyrics on the cover, you know? Just, you know, just put it out, you know?
Yeah.
Just put it out.
Really?
And everybody complained to me after it's been out. Everybody writes in and wants lyrics, you know? But,
can you get them by mail?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was such a big, you know, everybody, hey, man, where's the lyrics?
I don't think it really matters. No.
Well, to me neither, you know, but it's like, people got hooked on the lyrics. and they want them, you know, and they like to sit there and listen to the record and dig the lyrics. And I can dig it because, I mean, that's, if I sit down, you know, and put a record on, you know, even if you're digging the sounds, you know, you like to look at the picture.
Yeah, right. Or the liner notes, you know.
I know people that get an album and, you know, play the record and look this way, look at the cover the whole while. It's like, people need the visual, man. They want the visual, you know. They want that visual thing happening, too. And the next album probably will have a lyrics on it again, but I figure I balanced it out somehow in the long run. You know?
How does it make you feel that people are looking at you? You know,
It's like I usually, have my defenses up. Even when I put on the record, it's like if it's something that something you don't, it's like any big other big scar on the side of your face. It's like you meet somebody, how you doing?
Exactly.
So it's that kind of thing. A lot of people do that on record. Sometimes, but. It depends, it's a hard thing to exactly see. What are you looking for, huh?
Whoa, thank you.
It does. How you get back? Where you going? You going any place? Yeah, I had an address of some guy at a party, but...
A party?
Yeah. Should be around somewhere.
I'll find that note, man.
I'll bring it back at the hotel and see what goes. Boy, that was fun.
I really, I was very impressed with your work. I play piano also, and I was stealing myself that second album by every which way. It's really nice that you didn't stick closer to it.
Yeah.
Is it a different thing every night?
This guy does.
I try
He does. He plays something.
all the time.
That's great. I think the audience was really getting off on it at the beginning too.
Okay, I'll bring it back home. See you later.
Heard you on KDKB yesterday.
Oh yeah, got on.
It sounded like it was really
Got to
good.
play all my favorite records. I had a great time. I love it because you go to these stations, and you sit there and you come in, and the guy goes, "Okay, what do you want to talk about?" And I don't want to talk about anything, because okay, I want to talk about,
I want you to buy me.
Yeah, I want to talk about, sidewalks, There's nothing, I don't have nothing to talk about, so I said, listen, here's what I do sometimes. Let me just rack away at the records, let me play the records, because people, man, look at a better idea where you're at from the records you play.
Exactly. I got a really good idea of where you're at.
Right, it's amazing.
It's a New York soul.
They know where it's at, and even you play Surfer Girl and you play Sandy, and there's an understanding right away. And if I sat there for a half hour and bullshit, well, Sandy is about living at the beach, and it's like and just you play like Born to Be Wild or Later Back, and then it ain't
You get the connections.
then flash, and people are like, oh, wondering if a cat sat on and tried to rap, because they ask that everybody. There's no way you can talk about it. There's no way. That's the easiest explanation you can give. And people they put on the radio to hear the music,
I think it's much better than saying who you admire, because people say, oh, I know this guy likes this.
Right.
Oh yeah, right. I got a much better picture of that.
Yeah, people they get hit for where you're coming from, more about the music you dig,
Yeah.
But that was fun. That was a great fun. And
It's a good station too.
Oh, I love it. I tell you, it's just the idea. You don't know, man. This stuff don't happen every place. I mean, we just played the Walls in Dallas, 2 days ago. I mean, there were like 20 people every night. 2 sets a night, 4 nights a week. 20 people, no more than that. We had a great time. The band. The guys always. Like those guys, I just gotta sit back and listen to Davey play something, or Clarence play sax, and it's fun. It's fun.
It's more fun than playing alone.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great. So even if the joint's empty, we still have a great time. But we played to nobody there. Somehow Austin was really good, and Houston was really good too. But man, we'll go back and like the way it happened here, it didn't happen on the East Coast, man. I played joints 5-6 times before we packed places up there. Like just now we packed Boston, and I played there 5 or 6 times,
Is that the Chill Theater or Child Theater?
In Boston, now we play this place called Joe's Place. So,
That's really hard to believe, because I think your music is much more Eastern than Western,
Me too, man. I couldn't believe it. I came down.
It's like getting
I said, oh, they ain't gonna do that.
thrown out of the ballpark,
Right, that's right. I came down, like I said, in that big old. We the first night we went to play in Houston, and the country western band, and everybody, got the fiddles and the Orange Blossom Special. I said, oh man, ain't gonna do this here, We're on the wrong side of the tracks. We're on the wrong side, And the joint went crazy, and I couldn't figure it out. They went. I mean, we don't get this kind of reception on the East Coast, back home.
I'm really glad it happened here.
Out here. We just don't. It's just, and it's like the biggest number in the whole
What
world.
about LA? What's that like?
We never played LA.
Oh, really?
Never played. We did. We snuck in and played 5 songs at the Armstrong Theater. Snuck in and
That's
played.
not really.
No, we never played it. If we played it, it would happen, you know?
Yeah.
But we never played it. And we never played San Francisco, really. And we never played any of them places where we should play.
Why is that?
We don't have the money. We can't get out there. Like now, we have to go back tomorrow because we don't have any money left. You know, we have to go back east. We got just enough to fly everybody back home, but we can't. We wanted to go to LA. We can't. We got the ability to get out there, and that's why we canceled out. Like we canceled out this tour. This whole tour must have been 2 or 3 times before, and we had all these gigs set up. And
Yeah.
Because we couldn't. We couldn't. No, where could we get out of here?
You'd like to play back there again?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think that Doug Clark would probably book you again because.
What's fun? That's great.
Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, you know, it's nice because the band has it there. You know, like I know if we get a good crowd, like I know the guys in my band, they play from the heart every night. They don't, even if the joint's empty, if the place is full, it doesn't make any difference. And those guys, they play good every night, you know, and it's good to be able to have somebody there, you know, and it's a fulfilling thing, you know. It's really
Did you have the band rehearse more on the second album than the first?
I didn't have no band at all on the first time. Those guys came up, I got them together for 3 days, we rehearsed 3 days, went in and did all the back tracks in 1 day. So there was no band, you know?
Yeah.
It was just, you know, the instrumentation is very small. You know, it's like acoustic guitar, bass, drums, piano.
Right.
That's it for most of the
Saxophone on the
saxophone, 2 cuts.
chorus, maybe one.
Right, you know, maybe again playing a little stand-up bass. But in general, there was no band at the time. There was no band, and the producers were pushing it. They wanted the lyrics. And I was going, man, well, I'm freaked out at the end of it. I was like, man, let me put a damn guitar on that track. You know, let me do sing. Like, what we could sing.
I had no idea you were a real guitar player until the second album.
That was my whole thing. I played the guitar. That's what I never sang or did anything.
That blew me away. I said, wow, this guy? You know, I thought you were just a folky with a rock background.
That's it, you know. They don't, people.
I didn't realize that you were closer to the Rascals than somebody like Bob Dylan.
Oh, hell yeah, you know, it's like, that's what I mean. People got all screwed up, you know. They dug that, I can't do this one thing, I write lyrics, you know, and I write songs, you know, with lyrics like that, you know. But they figured, they flashed them out, they figured that was it, you know. Then they come and see the band, and, you know, I'm a whole different person, you know. They go, ooh, wow, you know, what's happening here, you know. We turn their heads around and we zero in on it and look in, but, it was something, you know. It was just like the end of the album. I was like, man, put a damn guitar track on. And, you know, because I was so frustrated. And I was sitting there and saying, now the name of this song is Hard for Me to Sing the City. See the way we did that tonight?
Yeah.
So that should be done. Boom, you know, it's rock and roll. It should be done that way, you know. And that's the way that song totally different.
Like even in the songs that you didn't write, there's a lot of arranging in there.
Oh yeah.
What was that first Walking the Dog?
Walking the
there's
Dog.
There's a lot of little things you gotta know.
Oh yeah. Rufus Thomas, that's it. You know, just the funny things, you know, the little.
I love really subtle arrangements because like I don't know how many pick it up, but I like to just sit back and analyze the musician. It's pretty tight. Man.
Oh yeah, you know, it's those guys are great. You know?
Have you been playing with those guys on and off for a long time?
It should be done, you know. And I'll be done with doing.
I think the only thing the same was with the live performance with the record was that ending with the train.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
That's the only thing that was at the same thing.
Yeah, and even like I laid in the guitar, and it makes it more exciting. That's why I'll be glad when we do a live album when we get popular enough, because I can set a lot of the records straight from the stuff. Like we'll do stuff from the first album, like totally rearranged, you know, the way we do it here, you know. These some of the guys I've been playing with for a couple of years. Some I've known guys that's played me 4 years ago. Just had a guy, I had the drummer who was on a few last albums that lived with me. Well, had played with me for 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And it just, you know, it just wasn't happening correctly, you know. It was all little problems happening.
This guy seems a lot more subtle.
Yes, this guy plays the damn drums. He plays the drums, you know. And he knows the subtle. He plays the drums. That's all he does. You know, he don't beat the drums. He don't smash the drums. He plays the drums. That's the kind of guys I want in my band. I want them to know how to rock, you know, but and be able to come through with the energy. But I want to be able to play the drums. Like Boom is, like he's that way. He's very understated and he's very delicate, you know. And it's a music band. I want to be a musician's band, you know, for a guy. And because it's important. Like you can come out and you know get people off just as much and just as good by playing musical, melodic things as just by coming out and blasting out with a few chords, you know, or on 10, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do it that way. And I want to play real loud, and I don't want to play, you know, I want to play, you know, like you gotta go back. It's the way the older cats did it, you know. Like they came out there, people going bananas. Little Fender amp with no mic in front of it, you know. Guys strum acoustic guitar with no mic.
Yeah.
People going crazy in the crowd, rushing the stage.
And you see these old photographs and say, oh my God, how did they get there?
It ain't, you know, it ain't. People got screwed up, man. They didn't know how, so they figured, well, how much, you know.
Right.
Like they didn't know what the thing was, so they figured, well, just everything.
Right.
And that, you know, and then sort of blast people into submission, you know. It sort of works, you know, but to do, you know, to have the know-how, you know, to do it, you know.
You got a pretty full sound, but I think it's from everybody playing little parts that everybody fills in.
That's it, you know, like the guy, like the one for the CD and Davey will, and you know, it's a big full band, you know, because of the guys. You know, I can stop playing the guitar. We'll do things, you know, I can just stand out and you can jump around and do whatever I want to do, you know?
And you have.
Right? You know, it's fun, I love it, you know? You just jump all around because, like, you know, that's what everybody's doing, you know? It's something. And we can do it with just 2 keyboards, the bass, and the sax, and it sounds like it's all happening there, you know? You don't say, ooh, there's something missing, you know? Because I got, you know, you got the musicians that, like Davey plays a big piano, you know? He plays a big piano.
A
big piano, really. He's like
he uses all the lights.
Yeah, you know, he's like.
I understand he left for a little while, trying to start his own band.
Yeah, he left for about I don't know, a year, 8 months, 9 months. You know,
What was he doing then?
he was banging away down south with working in some studio, trying to get an album again. You know. He did that for a while. And he's a young kid. He's 20 years old. I'm 20. He's 20. He's a kid. He's a baby, you know. And
I'm 22, but I ain't nowhere near him.
he's 20 years old, the kid. And he was dynamite when he was 18. He was 18, 17. He was out. All right, John. Thanks for coming. Huh? Okay, thank you. Yeah, he's just. I walked on stage in this club. He was playing him and a flute player, and I walked on stage and played. And that was it, you know. I mean, I forget how old he was then. He was a lot younger. He was younger than me. He just knocked me away, you know.
Yeah.
Because what it is, you ain't gonna find a guy that's gonna play classical and then is gonna go and play jazz and chord china and then is gonna get up and go on a phenomenal song and play each as heavy and with as seriously as much into it as that, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy played classical,
it's like Gershwin and Jerry Lee Lewis.
right, and then he'll get up and he'll pump that piano to death, you know? He'll just pump it to death, you know? And he's incredible. He's just incredible. So, you know?
I understand you recorded an album about 3 years ago?
No.
No, you didn't? I read it like in an article.
My first album?
Melody Maker said that you recorded an album on the Fillmore label.
Oh, no, I never got that. I did demo tape for the Fillmore label a long time ago.
What was that like?
It was rock and roll. It wasn't too good.
Was that with a smaller
It was
band?
pretty bad. Huh?
Was that with a smaller band?
I had 4 guys. Danny played with me. He was there. He's been with me across the country a couple of times. And we were playing in San Francisco. Me and him was there. Lopez was there too.
Yeah.
You know, and we just fell into this Fillmore thing and banged out a couple tunes. Yeah, it was terrible songs and it was bad thing. The whole thing. I was 18, I was 17, 18, you know.
Yeah.
You know. And so I was, of course, into all the wrong things at the time, you know. And, you know, with a passion, you know, with a passion. And we did. I think I don't even have a copy of it. It's probably bouncing around somewhere. They probably burned it, you know. What happened?
No, I didn't understand that there's some bootlegs around California.
No, you gotta be kidding. They don't even know it's me. My name ain't even on it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's they don't even have that. That'd be weird for us. I mean, who would want a bootleg? I mean, it's not. You'd never know it was me if you heard it. You know, say who's that? You know, because it just doesn't sound. You know, I mean, at all. But if it was, that's a surprise. I mean, it doesn't pay to bootleg me. You know, because it pays to bootleg Don or Rolling Stones. So you can do a bootleg, you know, 10 copies of my album, and that's not a buck a piece to
Give them to both your friends.
maniacal fan, right? You know, because that's it, you know. I mean, you can't sell the real thing, yeah. You know?
I play at a place out in Tempe on the weekends, and we do mostly oldies and like walking the dog, and twist the shadow, what we do. But, you know, it's Beach Boys and Beatles and Neil Sedaka.
Oh yeah.
Breaking up his hard dude class.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's really nice to see somebody with the same roots. I'm from New York too.
Yeah.
And I'm really surprised. You know, I can't understand when you said on the stage with John Baker. Is Phoenix the only place, like, you know, the biggest place you saw?
I'll tell you, we have never, ever in my life got receptions like we've got on this tour. I mean, like, a reception like that, forget it. You know, he's a manager, he knows. He's forget it. You know, it's like, it doesn't happen. You know, it just doesn't happen. You know, it's the kind of thing.
This tour, oddly enough, it has happened.
Right, that's what I was saying.
I can always bring this one point up because Gary brought it up outside.
Hey, tell me about that.
We had just finished Liberty Hall, right, in Houston.
And we said, oh, that's it, all downhill from here. It was such a great gig.
Enthusiastic.
The place went bananas. The joint went crazy, you know?
And then like we said, well that's it, we don't want to leave Houston, we want to play the rest of our lives.
Right,
and then we went to Boston, like the first time we walked in the album, 1,050 kids were there. And it went
crazy. I said, what the heck is this?
What are they doing, to set me up or something?
So, okay, who's pulling this gag?
Right, who's pulling this gag on us, right? And then tonight, when Doug Clark comes, I think you guys want to sell it out.
Oh, I have no doubt that you guys are going to sell out. I really, you guys.
Oh, no singles, no album on the charts.
No,
nothing.
Let me tell you, when you were Katie, first of all, KDKB plays a lot of Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, we know that. We owe them a debt.
And when you were supposed to play with Roger McGuinn, I think you were the first one that canceled out, and there were a hell of a lot of refunds just because you canceled out.
Jesus.
And so I had no doubt that you'd sell it out here.
Doug Clark, I guess.
And I was just telling Bruce that it just freaked me that Phoenix was one of the isolated spots. Just thinking that, you know, at least Asbury Park.
Even knew.
Phoenix is right. I mean, who the hell we think was gonna come see us in Phoenix, Arizona? Who's gonna come see us in Houston, Texas?
There's a lot of transplants from Phoenix,
right.
I'll tell you.
We have never ever been to these places before, ever. Like I said,
the first time in, we had already done it one time before, and they were all nuts. And you'd expect, like, well, the word got out, and geez, man, you ought to go see this concert. But first time coming in cold.
It's getting here, though. A friend on the East Coast, an article in my magazine, called Bruce Bob Dylan in the 70s. I mean, this is way girl. I hitchhiked all the way from San Francisco starting Friday morning to this concert. And he picked me up out of San Francisco and he talked about a concert that you had played in D.C., I think, till about 4 a.m. in the morning. He said it was only about maybe 400-500 people. Is that right?
That's 700.
Okay. He was at the concert and he told me about this. And I got down to Monterey and I called my friend and I said, hey, make sure I get a ticket for Bruce Springsteen. And I mean, the word's getting out.
I will, you know, because
Scott was complaining.
Can't keep a good band down. But you know, you gotta pump and pump away, you know, which I don't mind, because keep me out here forever, you know. I said, Mike, next gig.
Next gig.
I don't want to go home. Just you know, push me around a different place.
Does it bother you a lot to get compared, you know, say like Dylan in the 70s? Because I mean, the first album, I thought was maybe a comparison. Second one, not so much, and not seeing you live, I don't think at all, really.
That's it, you know, I mean, I look at me, I know who I am, you know. Well, you know, anybody can plainly see, you know, that there's no different, the sensibilities are totally different, you know. I mean, I come from a totally different
I
place.
never saw Black Dog jump around. I mean, not like Jay Giles.
And right, it's like, you know, like, I come from a totally different place, you know, than his scene. It's like, it's another thing, and eventually people will get to it, but, you know, everybody don't right away. It doesn't bother me because, like, I know who I am, you know.
What about the arrangement for you?
Well, that was a Stone Dylan arrangement, you know, I mean,
what made you decide to do it in band and on the record and alone playing piano here?
well, on the record,
I always thought that was gonna be one of your rockers.
it could be, you know, but and we do it both ways, you know. On the record, the music has more of that the blonde on blonde feel to it, you know. But actually, the song is better, comes across much more if I do it by myself.
Yeah,
you know.
I thought so too.
And it's like
makes it speed up and slow down. And
right, you know, it's like I can do a million freaky things in it, you know, and the song gets. The smaller the place, the more into the crowd is. You can do a lot of crazy things with that song, you know. And it's a case where if we're playing a real rock joint, if we're playing a bar, like you play the Satellite Lounge or some joint like that, then you know you can't play a song like that because nobody listens to it, you know. Everybody's screaming and yelling, so we do it fast, you know, and it works good that way. But to do the song right, you know. And that's the way it should have been done. You know?
I think that's the way it is with a lot of your songs. It seems you can do it both ways. I think even like in the band arrangements, it seems, you know, it's really tight one way, but and you can be loose and at the same time.
Mm. Oh, that's it. You know,
how do you rehearse the band that way? Just is there certain parts that you can?
So first of all, watch me all the time, because I'll give you cues. We work on cues, you know. And we have some things that we find, once we find out how a certain section feels best, if it feels best after doing 3 of these particular riffs, then we'll, you know, leave it like that. Right. Once we find out a particular section feels best, we'll leave it. But at first, I say, okay, here's what I want, you know, lay a stop in here, lay a snare snap in there, lay out there, you know, bring it down, and then I'll do this and bring it up, and when I do this, it should stop, and when I go, it should come in, you know, that's how, you know, that's pretty much how we do it, you know. It's like, except stuff like Kitty's Back, you know, which I sat down and thought about, you know, a little bit, figure out how I want the horns and everything, and everything, but generally, you know, but then I say, the guy takes a solo, he plays until he looks at me. When he looks at me, that means he's finished. I'm done. Yeah, right. You know?
Yeah, I noticed that.
I let him roll it. I say, listen,
especially like when your guitar string broke and you were fixing it. He kept on going until.
Oh yeah. You know, and then finally he looks at me to see if I'm ready. You know, in a case like that. But usually let him do the thing until. Let them structure their whole solo, you know. I'm not gonna say, okay, take it twice, and then I don't care how hot you feel, it's my turn, you know. You know, it's like, we don't do a thing like that. I ain't like, you know, take 2 bars, you know, two things, and then stop. You know, it's like, just take it, and then when you're done, let me know, you know. And then I'll do something, you know.
Right. I know it's very good the way you worked your way into that after, I thought you did, made the best out of a bad situation.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's like, well, the songs are very flexible.
Yeah.
You know, I can do things, if I broke it in the middle of a piece, I can stop the band, you know, and then I can, right, and then I can bring them back in, you know, because they're good.
Yeah, even, I noticed, one of those, what was it? Walking a Dog, I was counting off. Came right in.
Yeah, you know, like,
you just stand there and they're all watching you, and they're all counting. Everybody's counting. I could just tell. Everybody's counting. I couldn't see their lips move, but you know.
Yeah, that's it, you know, it's like, You know, everybody's, it's funny because it's like, we have a thing where I say, only sudden moves. You know, like, if I move slow, don't do anything. Only sudden moves. So I'll move real slow because sometimes one night I went, and no one comes in, just to scare the boom. And then I said, oops, you know. You know, and the guy goes, oh, you know.
But you had that little
Really, you know. Oops. You know, but sudden moves, be on that. You know, be on that, you know. And they are, it is, you know. It's what's done a lot. Everything is left flexible, you know, like, no matter what happens, it can still happen, you know? Like, it's best that way.
I guess, well, how about like the ideas when you go to see? Is it pretty much worked out, or do you usually work it in there?
I go in the studio, I like to know, at least have a very good basic idea of exactly what I want to do. I want to go in the studio and sit there, because I won't do anything. I'll go in the studio, and I'll sit there too, you know, with everybody else. So, like, I like to have a song totally done, arranged, the band note cold, you know, and then we'll go in and we'll do it 2 or 3 takes and leave it alone, you know.
Do you do it live, or do you work parts?
We do the basic tracks live, you know.
Which is usually what?
The drums, the bass, the guitar. We do it sort of the way you hear it on stage, you know. And then if the guitar has a crappy sound, well, I'll overdub another guitar in later. But we do it. We go out and we'll play it like that. And then maybe we'll just use the drums and bass, you know. But that's cool because
what about the sound leakage there?
Well, we have a situation where I'll play direct. I won't play through an amp. You know, I'll play just.
Oh, everybody's got headphones.
Yeah, that's, you know. So there's no problem, you know.
Yeah.
And it works out, you know. It works because that way the drums and the bass have that fire, they have that spice of playing it with the band, and I can overdub and get a better guitar sound, a forward solo, do whatever I want, you know. So can, you know, everybody else. A lot of times I'll come up with lots of musical ideas in the studio. We'll try on instruments and I'll try different riffs, right? Like the beginning of Sandy, like I went in and did Sandy. That was one of the few things that came together in the studio. Like I just went in and did the track one night, you know. I said, well, okay, let's arrange it like this. We'll come in and do 4 of these little chord changes and then stop, and you know, I'll sing a little bit and 2 and we're out, you know. And it was based on acoustic guitar, accordion, and a few other things, and the drums, you know, and the bass. And then I later went on and I dubbed like 4 guitars on at the beginning, I think, and then I did 4 guitar parts and what else goes on? And a little recorder part in the end, you know.
Yeah.
And the tuba. Yeah, you know, all sorts of different things, you know. And the baritone, that's right. We dubbed all those things in. And you know, I come up with a lot of musical ideas in the studio.
The second album sounded more like you used the instrument more as an instrument than the first.
You mean
the recording in the studio?
Oh, yeah,
facilities. You know? And I think that's. And I don't think you can treat it the same way you would live.
No. It's like studio and live are 2 different things, you know.
Treat it as such.
You have amazing things in the studio. Get in there and use them, you know. Don't say
There's amazing things on stage that you can't bring off.
Right, you know, exactly. Get in there and use them. And it's 2 different things, you know. It's really, like, I don't sacrifice the energy, you know, or anything like that. When I listen to the track, I make sure it's got it. I make sure
you gotta sacrifice the visuals. You know?
Right, you know. But you gotta, that's it, like, there's things we do in the studio, like a song like, what's a good for instance? Sandy or something, that say I did acoustic. I used to do it just the acoustic guitar and accordion. Live it worked really well. But on the record, man, you need the instruments to project. See it? The kid, it's got to jump out. It's got to jump off the record player, you know?
Into your brain.
Yeah, you know, and they hear the night guitar and the accordion and everything like working the drums. You know?
Yeah.
And it makes the song a little more alive. It makes it come alive for them, you know? Because I don't want to be, you know, I'm into Mr. Esoteric, or, you know, I ain't into like, gee, let me do this song naked, you know? just me.
One with the
guitar, you know? And you know, I don't want to do that. You know, I mean, you know, make it sound good, make it sound fun, and you know.
Like, what was that Mary Queen of Arkansas? That was a nice little touch with the harmonica just sort of slithering in and out.
Yeah, so, you know, like we did the take of the song by myself, and I said, hey, give me some reverb on a harmonica. And I went out in the studio, and that was the first take of the harmonica part, the first take. And it makes the song, it makes a difference, you know. It's like, I haven't heard it in a long time, but I know I really liked it at the time. You know? And little things, just like the bass fiddle at the end of the age.
Right, it just did.
Yeah, that's a spacing in me. I was like, yeah, that was pretty spacey.
More is less, less is more.
Right, you know. But, you know, like guys go, you know, that's all. I'm just into making. I want the record to sound good. I like to hear horns. I like to hear everybody singing, and I like, you know, I want to hear that. I don't want to sacrifice those things to be, you know. I don't want to be on an intellectual trip like that, you know.
Did you do much of the harmonies on there? On the album?
Did I do them?
Yeah.
I sang with myself and Rosalita.
Yeah, I know that, but like, which one is it?
Sandy?
Yeah.
It's funny, the engineer's wife, the engineer was an Israeli cat. He was rushing to get the album done because he had to go over and fight in that war. Really, that's one of the reasons why we canceled the tour out down here. We had to squeeze the
Does
album.
that make you feel like, what did you feel like then when you said, I gotta rush out?
It was a pain in the ass because the guy is the greatest guy in the world. I mean, the greatest guy in the world, you know? And it was a big down for everybody, you know. It was very serious at the time, you know. I mean, the guy's going over to get his head shot off or something, you know. And his wife was about to have a baby, and his wife came in, and she sings like an angel, and she plays the violin too, you know. And she hit them high harmonies, you know. She did all three of them. She did them all herself.
Real nice.
Yeah, she did them all herself. Like an incident on 57th Street. It's the band, the guys in the band did those harmonies there, you know.
Yeah, it's real greasy soul. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you got a lot of soul influences, like you tour a lot in the South with other bands.
I did it one time. I made my living between Jersey and Virginia and Carolina and places like that. But that didn't have a lot to do with, I didn't really pick up any influences. Kids ain't into, well, they get more into soul now, but they're into it. They're into it, no matter where.
Unless it has like 50 violins over it.
Right, you know, that's why, you know, pop, soul, everything's gotten screwed up, you know. Everything's all twisted around these days. You know, like, I don't know why either. Who said, hey man, we got to have violins on the soul records, you know. They don't make Stax records no more. You ain't never gonna hear another,
or early Atlantic.
Right, you know, like the Arthur Conley song,
Sweet Soul Music.
There was one song, Boogaloo Down Broadway. You ain't never gonna hear that record comes on, and that guitar, man, the worst sound in the world, and it sounds great, you know. It's like, baby, Boogaloo Down Broadway,
Yeah.
guitar and the snares going. You know, and then that record comes on and it all works. You know?
Like, what about working in a coal mine?
Right, you know, you don't hear stuff like that. They don't make those records anymore. We close it out. I don't know who it is, you know.
And I heard a story that, you know, that song Funky Broadway? It's written about Broadway in Phoenix.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's written by some, you know, in West Phoenix.
Yeah.
Down in 17th Avenue, which is kind of a funky part of town. But some guys have gone up to a guy at one of the big radio stations here saying, hey, look, we got a song, but we don't have our publishing, man. Like, that's what I was saying. So the guy takes half of it, you know. And they made a hit, you know. But that's not Broadway in New York. It's,
Yeah. There's Broadway and everything.
Really? That's why.
That's why it makes it. Right. When the song South Street came out, meet me on South Street. One on
That's where all the hippies meet.
That's where I lived. I lived on South Street at the time. I went out and plucked the baby right up. You know? Give me that record.
Do you think you'd like to be produced by someone like Phil Spector? Or would you like to produce your own?
I don't know.
I think you could have a very good Philly sound though.
Because someone else mentioned it to me the other day, you know. Because, you know, I dig Spector's things. I love, you know, the Ronettes and all those people. I'm crazy over it.
I noticed you
If I ever found a girl sounding
Again.
right there, like, man, I say, will you marry me? I say it right
I'll
away.
get pictures for you.
Anything you want, you know. Just, you know. If I ever found it, like when the Shangri-Las, like the other day, you should see us in the studio. I mean, we play records, we freak out.
Yeah.
We were jumping all around and dancing all over.
And that's what we do at Ronettes. We do that a lot of that first stuff. We do My Boyfriend's Back. All four guys, you know, it's great.
It's like, and when that girl comes on, I met him at the candy store.
Yes, we see.
Like that voice, I go, oh. Yes, no music today gets me like that.
Or that,
She comes on with I met him at the candy store, and that voice goes,
or Walking in the City.
Jesus, yeah.
Great.
And the Be My Baby.
Oh, yeah.
The emotion, you know.
It's just classic. That's all you can say. You know?
It's still, it floors me to this day. I'll put it on, and it just floored me, man. I got parts on my next album. I'm gonna do things with a girl's voice too. Like,
Would you like to work with someone like the Ronettes or somebody like that?
the trouble is, like, I don't know if I'm not into working really with right now too much with anyone who. Cause
Would you eventually like to produce your own albums?
You know. We sort of do that. Me and Mike, and Jimmy, we go in the studio and they say, we do the arrangements. They make sure the sounds are good, the drums go.
And that's production.
Yeah, that's all it is too. You know, I mean, if a guy gets in there and I've never worked with like a heavy producer, a guy with a name. We've always
An advantage.
yeah, you know, I don't know, ever since the beginning, you know, that's why, like, I don't, like, if I had a chance, like, in the next record, I'm looking for a chick that can sing that way, man, that can sound like those girls did, you know, because I got parts for a girl, I'm gonna do, like, sort of like the country artists do, but I'm gonna move it to my side of the tracks, you know, and
a little grease in it.
yeah, and, you know, back and forth, you
Grease
know,
the tracks, isn't it?
you know, and, I'm looking for a chick that finally, because I don't know where I'm gonna find. I'm sure there's somebody out there, but if you get up, I don't want to get hooked up with like a name, a big name thing, because you know I don't need it. And a lot of times it's a destructive trick, you know. Like
You're afraid of, because he's so big, you're afraid of going against him.
you know, it's like I don't want to get hooked up with like. You know, it's like. We have a pretty good scene down here. We get to make good records, and the band plays good, and you know, but
Do you like the studios in New York? 914, is that what you record?
yeah, it's pretty good. No, man, I never made one studio, 2 studios in my life. I think.
I thought Columbia artists had to record at Columbia Studios.
Nobody does, you know.
I know.
But you're supposed to, and they hassle you, and you have guys that chase you in the studio, and the obnoxious, they go away after a while. They don't want to stay there. So, yeah, I don't know about studios. I don't know really. All I know is that I got somebody who I believe knows, you know.
Yeah.
And I listen to the records, and the drums go. I said, yeah, that's good. That's the sound I want.
And that's where it's coming from.
You know, so I figured as long as I hear what I want, I don't care if I'm doing it in this room. Yeah. You know, one's the same as the other.
Yeah, a lot of real good records just come out of your own home, you know, some friend
As long as I can hear the noise, you know. The engineer we work with is a great guy. We make records, it's great. Everyone has fun, you know? Everyone has a good time. And that's what I want, that's what we do, you know?
I guess I got plenty of material.
Okay.
I really like me to send a copy.
You can send it to this guy.
Okay.
Like you guys have planned.
Okay.
Hey, what's the name?
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have everybody's name in the band?
Let's see, I have Clarence Clemons, Gary Talent, Danny Federici, David Sancious, is that how you pronounce it? And I would like to get the drummer's name.
Are we Ernest?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Boom.
Carter.
Okay. All right.
I thought you gave a really dynamite concert.
The address of where to send a copy of it.
Oh, you can send it to care of Mike Val, Laurel Canyon Limited, at 75 East 55th Street, Suite 706, New York City, New York. The zip code is 10022.
All right, man.
I just got it on tape.